Hello, UCAR. Peter Christensen here, coming to you from the CEO's desk. Hey, had a good question the other day from an agent about the buyer-broker agreement, the exclusive buyer-broker agreement, and in particular, Section 1. And this came up, this has come up many times, but there's the blank, there are two blanks in that section. One is indicating that the services will be for a property, and it says A, located in blank county, Utah, or B, located at blank, and then it says property address. And so the question that was posed, which is an excellent one, was what if those are both left blank? What does that mean? And it's an interesting question. A lot of times I hear people put in both, put in something on both, and that's a totally different animal, but similar. So what happens if they're blank? Well, we have an ambiguity there, right? Because we have missing information, and we're not sure what areas the services are covering, and there's nothing in the contract that would indicate where they are supposed to be covering. So I would definitely recommend you put something in those blanks, whether it be the address or whether it be a county. But if it's blank, then what we're looking at is uncertain terms. And so there could be a reasonable difference in interpretation. So the buyer may interpret it as one thing, and the agent and brokerage may interpret it as another. Now, typically in contract law, you interpret the contract more favorable to the party that did not draft it. So in that case, it's going to be probably the buyer. It's going to be interpreted in their favor, which would mean it's likely to be more narrowly defined or narrowly interpreted versus broadly, because more broadly would be in the brokerage's best interest. So keep that in mind as you fill that out. I recommend you're really supposed to fill out one section or the other. Now, if they're both filled in, notice it says or. It doesn't say and. So if you fill in, well, we're going to put this as a county, Garfield County, and then you put in an address, it's confusing, right? It's one or the other, as the contract says. And so again, you're very well probably going to get a narrow interpretation. If this went to court, I would maybe expect a narrow interpretation, because it's going to be the buyer who's viewed as the non-drafting party. So don't fill in both, fill in one. Can you put multiple counties? Yeah, it doesn't lend itself well to plural, but I know that's a common practice, or all counties in Utah. What you want to do is you want it to be well understood between the buyer and the brokerage what areas are being covered, and it is going to be very hard to not interpret it the same way based off of what's in there. So that's the goal. This is probably a section, this is a good section for the Forms Committee to look at to see if we can clarify that, because I know through the years I've seen that misinterpreted or filled out many times, and it probably could be a little more clear in my mind. So the proper way, the way it was drafted, is you fill in one, either county, or I know it's common to do multiple counties, or you do the specific address of a specific property, one or the other, but should have one of those blanks filled in. Remember, not legal advice, just legal information. If you need legal advice, please contact your attorney. Hopefully this is helpful. If you have questions or comments or other topics you want us to cover, please throw those in the comments, and we've got a few of these videos out there if you find these helpful. Thanks for tuning in.